What's up, guys? I know it's been a long time, but it's Luke back here with Brandon Walsh again for another edition of our mock draft. Last year, it went pretty well, I would say, but we made it a couple weeks before the draft, so that made it a little bit harder to predict. But this year, 2 days before, we're locked and loaded and we're ready to go. Do you want to say what's up to the fans?
Yeah. We'll be taking turns picking these players. I'm doing the odd numbers. We'll start with Tennessee
Yep, I
at
guess
number one.
let's jump right into it. So I guess
Um,
should we talk a lot about this, or I mean,
yeah, sure. We can go into a little bit each pick. So Tennessee's obviously they're going with Cam Ward, Miami product. He's a prodigy.
that one's a lock.
Um, yeah, this one's an easy pick. Um, I agree with it too. He's a really great player. I've watched him play every game basically, and I'm a believer in him and his he's got great IQ, which I think people don't realize. So
Hmm.
I think it's a
Yeah,
good pick.
I think it's a good pick as well. I would probably, if I was in their position, I would probably take Travis Hunter, but I think they need a QB. It's hard to get the first pick, so got to do what you got to do. So number two, I kind of feel like the same thing. It's kind of a layup here. It's the Browns, so you never know. They'll probably mess it up, but all the signs are pointing to them going with the two-way star, Travis Hunter.
Yeah,
I
I
think
agree with that.
I think that's the right pick for them.
I originally thought they were going to go dual, but it seems like they're going to go Travis, unfortunately.
Yeah, I thought the
Unfortunately for
same,
us as
but
Giants fans.
I think, I think Travis is a better pick for sure.
Yeah, I do too. And now the Giants, we're both Giants fans, and I think we agree that we're going to take a dual card to three, almost certainly, unless something changes. But
Yeah. I think there's a small chance we could trade back, but it would take a haul, and I don't think any team is going to do that. So,
yeah, we don't really need Edge, but I mean, he's the best by far
yeah,
player, so
exactly.
you can't pass that up.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, now this is where it gets a little bit harder. So, I'm on the clock as the Patriots. I think they could do a lot of different things here, but from what I've read, all the signs are really pointing towards Will Campbell being the pick, which I don't think is necessarily bad, but I kind of question if he'll be able to stick a tackle since he has such short arms, but. He played well in the SEC, uh, and I think his game should translate at least pretty well to the NFL
I agree. I think this top four is not a lock, but I think this is the most likely outcome.
for sure.
And this is where it gets like shit could
Yeah, the
just
the Jags could do anything. I
yeah.
I don't really know what they'll do.
But if I would guess if I had to pick, I think they'd go Mason Graham here, the
Oh
best
yeah,
D lineman.
just so everyone knows, we're doing this based off what we think will happen, not
Hmm.
what we would personally do.
Yeah,
Okay, so you're going with Mason Graham. I'm thinking that
yeah.
too. Their
He's a
defense
he's
is just terrible.
and he's pretty can't miss.
Yeah,
And I mean, they need everything. So they're going best player.
yeah, I like that pick. So on the clock with the Raiders, I've been thinking for weeks it's going to be Ashton Genty here. If you've seen anything, they're like GM and stuff has been saying, it's been like the GM said that his son said like if they don't take him, then he should be fired. And they were asking the GM and Pete Carroll about it the other day, and Pete Carroll was like, "Don't like give up too much information." Like he literally said that to him in front of everyone. So I'm assuming they want Genty, and I think he would fit in and give them a pretty strong offense. But I think they could also go McMillan here just because outside of Jacoby Myers, they don't really have any receivers, but Brock Bowers is elite. So I
Hmm.
think going with Genty here, they can get a good balance in the run and pass game now that they have Geno. And I would say that looks like a pretty solid offense for sure.
Yeah, I'm a little skeptical that a running back's going to go super high, but I mean, I also definitely could see it, especially with like Pete Carroll. He loves that
Yeah.
run game.
And they just
So
don't have, their running back room is just terrible. Like,
yeah, probably the worst in the league. So now we're the
Jets
Jets.
here?
They could do a lot of things. If I had to guess, they would probably go offense and try to help out Justin Fields. So I'm taking tackle on man Membu from Missouri.
I was thinking the same. Okay.
Um,
He's
that's
an
probably the most likely of
athletic guy.
yeah. And they need what's the other guy? Tyron Smith is Is he still playing? I don't even know if he's still playing this year.
No, he just retired, I believe.
Yeah, so they need a tackle,
They
and
went for Shanu last year. I think they get Membu here, and that looks pretty good, I would say.
yeah,
I'd say they're kind of setting everything up to get a real QB after Fields is gone. So, all right, Panthers here, number 8. I mean, from everything I've heard, they really could trade down, but I think it's likely that they just decide to go with their guy here, which I think is Jalen Walker. Uh, Very athletic. He's very versatile. I think he kind of needs to become a little bit more specialized, but he's like a man of many tricks, and I think he could kind of fill that Luvu role that they've been missing since he left. So I'll go with Walker, and then that kind of gives the Panthers after this offseason, their defense looks a lot better compared to last year.
I agree. I always feel he feels like a Panthers type of player, and I think the first day we did generally. I think this is could easily see how it ends up going.
I agree.
Saints is going to be tricky.
Yeah, it is hard.
People are saying Shador. I don't think they're going to go Shador.
I don't either.
Um, they need a lot, so this is gonna be tough.
I don't
I'm
agree with
gonna
these rankings either, by the way, but
yeah. Um, I'm gonna go with Kenneth Grant.
okay. I
The
honestly don't know
other
much about him, to be honest, but
it's the other Michigan D tackle. He he's the top three D tackle or D lineman
okay.
probably in the draft, and they just need everything. So
Yeah, I think
it
they'll go
feels
D-line.
like
I agree.
yeah,
Maybe edge because they really only have like Chase Young, but we'll see. Okay. Kenneth Grant to the Saints. Number 10, we got the Bears here. This is a little bit of a tough pick. I think they'll go in the trenches for sure and just continue to help Caleb Williams and just rebuild that offensive line. You know, they already got Tooney and Jonah Jackson, so I'm gonna think they're gonna go with Kelvin Banks here. He looks
okay,
like pretty, I don't want to say can't miss, but he should be very good, I think, in the NFL. I think he has the power and he needs to work on his technique a little bit, but I could see him being a good player for them.
yeah. I also think they're gonna go offense. I like them rebuilding the O line. They signed some guys, but you definitely can't get in more O linemen. Like it's a position you need to get a lot of guys at. So now are the Niners. They kind of lost a lot of. They lost everyone, not everyone, but a lot of important pieces.
Yeah, for sure.
So they could do a lot of things here. Um, I'm gonna guess they take best available. Um, I'm gonna go with Will Johnson here.
Okay,
They
interesting.
need a corner kind of, and he's a pretty good player and kind of a blue chip. So he's probably gonna go pretty high.
I don't know. I could see him falling a little bit just because he can't really play man, but I think he should fit their scheme pretty well.
Yeah.
Going with Will Johnson here to the Niners. All right, Cowboys here. I think it's pretty obvious that they're going to go offense, I would say.
Hmm.
I mean, they kind of have a stars and scrubs roster, but just knowing the Cowboys and kind of what they do, I think they want to surround Dak with more talent and instead of just having him and CD, um, especially with their current running back room, which I think they'll improve on later in the draft. But right here, I'm gonna go with the Texas guy, Matthew Golden, provide some
Hmm.
speed next to CD, and I think that'll be a really good duo.
I agree. I mean, a lot of people would say Tet, but I actually agree. I think Golden seems the type of guy where they would. I feel like they value speed and that type of thing
I agree. And I
over
think,
like a Tet.
I mean, it's stupid, but he went to Texas too, so I feel like that's like a bad.
Yeah. Dolphins. I think they're going online no matter what. I mean, their line is a disaster, and Tua constantly
It is very
getting
bad.
concussed. So I'm gonna go with they could do they could do. I'm gonna go with Josh Simmons, Ohio
I
State.
like him a lot.
Yeah, I think he's pretty good.
I think he has potential to be one of the best tackles in the draft, if
Yeah,
the best. But so we're
yeah,
going
he definitely makes sense
Josh
for.
Simmons to the Dolphins here. I think that's too early to pick a guard, so I agree. I think
Yeah,
that's the right pick. Um, Next, we have the Colts. Their O-line could use a lot of work too. They lost a couple guys in free agency. Um, and I still think their offense has a lot of holes. This is a hard pick. I think they could go a lot of different directions here, but their tight end room is a mess. I think Warren, he's a pretty good blocker. So not like he's an O lineman, but he can help in that way. So I'm gonna guess that they're gonna go with Tyler Warren. I mean, I thought they could take Bowers last year. He didn't fall to them, so I
I
think
agree.
I think
I
maybe they're
think
both.
I think Warren makes a lot of sense for
Especially after all the O linemen that went off the board, they don't really want to overdraft here, and they'll just go with the safe pick.
yeah, 100%. Now we're at the Falcons. Um,
Got to get a pass rusher, I'd say.
yeah, they said they need wide receiver. I would not think they're going wide receiver here just because Tet is so similar to Drake London. Like
Yeah,
they don't really need that. So for here, I would say Mike Green had a really good pro day in
yeah.
or Senior Bowl, so he's an edge. I'm gonna go Mike Green to the Falcons.
Relatively new to the position, also, so I think he's a lot of room to grow.
Yeah.
Okay, I agree with that, Mike Green. He has some off the field issues, so he could fall a little bit, but I think that's a good pick for them, just play wise. Next up, for me, we got the Cardinals. I think they're trending in the right direction. I think their defense still needs work. I like what they have going on offense. I do think they could use another receiver, but I don't think that will be a first round pick considering they took Marv top 5 last year.
Mhm.
So I'm definitely going to go with defense here. And honestly, this is a hard pick. I know they brought in some good D linemen in free agency. Um, so honestly, I'm just going to go with Jahdae Barron, corner from Texas. I
Mhm.
think he could help shore up their cornerback room. They got Max Melton last year, so they can just continue to build that up. I like Starks here as well, but they have Buda Baker. I mean, obviously you need two safeties, but I don't know. I like Barron. We're gonna go with
Yeah, I agree with that. Um, yeah, no, they're definitely probably gonna go defense.
yeah.
So that makes
Keep their
sense.
defense. We have the Bengals number
Yeah,
17.
yeah. So here's their they just need I think they're going best available. They're looking to fill that Jesse Bates um role. Here's where I think Starks goes.
Okay,
I mean, he's a monster. Like if his
he's
outside
good.
positional value, he'd be like one of the five best in the draft. So this is a good pick for them.
Yeah, I could see them going D line, especially with the stuff with Hendrickson. I mean, even if he
That's
stays, they
true.
kind of need more D line, but I don't think you can go wrong with any defense here. So we'll go Starks. All right, number 18, the Seahawks. I've heard rumors about them possibly trading down. Obviously, I guess we should have said there's going to be no trades in this because you need the like PFF premium and also like predicting trades is just too hard to do. So we're gonna just see how it plays out. Just everyone making their own pick. But so the Seahawks here at number 18. Honestly, with Tet falling this far, they really don't have a lot going on the receiver. I guess they did get Cup now. I don't know. This is a hard pick.
Yeah.
I could see them addressing defense, especially with McDonald at coach. But Tet's fallen a good bit, and I think they want Darnold to have as much as help as he can get, especially after what we saw last year with he was definitely very successful with the Vikings, but if he didn't have those weapons, really what would have happened? So
Mhm.
I think with him falling this far, West Coast guy, they'll go with McMillan.
Yeah, I definitely don't hate it, especially with TK gone. They need an outside receiver. Get
Yeah, I
JSN
think
in the slot. I think that's
him,
gonna.
JSN, and Cup, I think that's probably a top three, top five receiving core. So
Yeah, that'll definitely be interesting to see. Now with the Bucks, they could also do a lot of things, but I feel like they're gonna take.
they usually go
They, I,
defense, I feel like.
I think they're gonna go take an edge or like a defender. I'm gonna go Nick Scourton. That just seems like a Buccaneer to me.
Okay.
That feels Texas
I don't hate it.
A&M. I don't know why, but
I
something
think I
about
like
that.
Shamar a little more, but I don't know.
Yeah, that would make sense too. I feel like they're gonna go one of those
Okay.
SEC guys though, for
Do we
sure.
go Shamar or Nick? Nick?
I went Nick, but I
Okay.
mean it could be
Nick's
Shamar too.
Nick's the pick then. All right. 20, we have the Broncos. This is a pick I've been eyeing. I think, I wouldn't be shocked if actually, I guess I forgot about they brought in Evan Ingram, but before that, I wouldn't have been surprised if they went with Loveland here. But,
Mhm.
Sean Payton's been talking about running backs. Um, they've kind of been hinting that they want a bell cow type guy, which, Javante left in free agency, which he wasn't very good anyways. I think they go with the other top running back, Omarion Hampton from North Carolina.
Yeah. And he was like a Sean Payton thinking he's a genius picking up the running back.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
I think that makes sense.
I think that picks a bit of a layup.
Yeah. Steelers, I think Shador's gonna go here. I
I
think
like
the
that.
Steelers, their team were just like they took Pickett a couple of years ago. Like they'll wait for the guy, even though like they'll pick a QB even if he's like not sure about him. Like they just need a QB.
And they literally have no one. Like, this is a time where they legitimately have no, like, it's Mason Rudolph is their only QB.
Yeah. And the Rodgers thing is questionable.
Yeah.
And Shador and Tomlin as a little I feel like they've got a connection a little bit. So
Okay. I
I'm
like
going
that.
Shador here.
Shador Sanders here. All right. Shador to Pittsburgh. Next up, we got the Chargers. I think I don't really know what they're going to do here. I think they could continue to, attack the defense, especially with Bosa gone. But at the same time, I do think they want to help out Justin Herbert.
Hmm.
And, you know, Jim Harbaugh's guy is here. I'm
Hmm.
gonna have to go with Loveland. He's more of a receiving threat than, typical tight end, but I think seeing him with Herbert would be nice. And obviously the Michigan connection with Harbaugh. I think that would be a good pick for them.
Yeah, I love that pick. I agree. That makes sense. And like outside of Lad, like Herbert was like in the playoff game when they targeted Lad, it was like anyone
Yeah.
but him, it was just like a net negative. Like Lad was by far and away the best receiver, so they
Yeah.
just
I
need
could see them
receiver
going
help.
Igbuka there too, but I think just the Michigan thing, I don't know.
Yeah,
I think it makes sense.
no, I 100% agree. I think I wouldn't be surprised if that happens on draft day. So
Yeah, me either.
now with the Packers, um, they have a deep wide receiver room. I don't know why would they kind of just they're probably gonna go best available.
They don't really like taking receivers first round from what I've seen.
Yeah, and they have a deep room with that. So I'm gonna say they're paying for upside here. They're going James Pierce Jr.
Okay. I hate
They
it.
like to get those type of guys, and he's a guy who could have went early, but he kind of
Yeah.
fell. So
He has some off the like effort
yeah,
concerns. So
just like Quay Walker did though. So
yeah, that's true. He's very talented, but
yeah.
okay, next up, I like that pick though. We got the Vikings here. To be honest, I haven't really thought much about what the Vikings are gonna do in the draft. I think they obviously they have a pretty filled out roster. I mean right here it says their needs. I don't really understand why RB is their number one need, but definitely not gonna go with that.
Yeah.
So think I'm just gonna go with one of my favorite guys in the draft. Uh, actually, it took edge in the first round last year with Dallas Turner. This is a tough pick, but
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go with, I guess, one of the best available here, Walter Nolan. Maybe
Okay.
shore up the run game a little, the run defense a little bit, but
Yeah.
I'm not too sure what they're gonna do here.
No, that's definitely a tough pick. They could go really any way. And we're getting late in the first round. Like it's hard to
Yeah,
predict these.
agreed.
On the other hand, Texans, I think they have to go O-line.
Yeah,
I don't see why they wouldn't. Like that's their weakest position by far. Um, it's not a ton of great alignment left, but we're gonna go with Josh Connolly from Oregon.
okay. I didn't know
Feels
if you
like
were
that
gonna
could
go
be
with
the
Zabel
Texans.
right there.
Yeah, I don't feel like they'll take a swing on a North Dakota State alignment, even though.
Yeah, okay. Josh Connerly. I don't know much about him, but I mean, tackle for Oregon. I'm sure he's obviously pretty good with their success they had this year. So here we got the Rams. They're looking really good going into this year. I like what they've done, obviously, in the draft on defense, and then bringing in Devontae, keeping Stafford around. Their offense should be just as good. Um, so here, I feel like they could go a lot of different directions.
Mhm.
I think the D line is pretty short up. I think they could just go with one of the best available players right here, somebody who could be a bit of a game changer for them, and I'm going to go with Jahad Campbell.
Okay. Yep.
We got the Ravens on the clock.
Yeah. The Ravens have a very specific archetype that they draft. They draft super athletic, high upside, like kind of unpolished guys. They always pick edge rushers. I'm going Shamar Stewart here. Um,
Okay, I like that.
like he's like just like a couple years ago, the Penn State guy they drafted who ended up being really good in the first
Odafe
round.
Owe, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
I
kind of
agree.
like that mold. So
His run defense is definitely very polished, but he needs a little bit more work on the pass rush, but I could see him being a big game changer for them.
yeah.
Next up, we got the Lions here. For some reason, I've been hearing recent rumors about them possibly trading Jamison Williams. I don't know much about that, but kind of unrelated. I think Ezra is a very good defender. I could see him going much higher than this, honestly, but I think he kind of fell in their laps right here. You know, after Hutchinson went down last year, that biggest issue was their pass rush. So I think they'll address that right here and get Donovan Ezra.
Yeah, definitely. They need another guy outside. Hutchinson.
Next up, we got the Commanders
I think they're
building
gonna go
off a great
defense.
season.
Um, their head coach is a defensive guy, Dan Quinn. The defense is not great. Um, they need a corner bad. They need a good amount of defensive help. I'm gonna go with I think this is where Michael Williams could go
Okay, I like that.
late in the first.
He's a lot of
He's a
upside.
yeah.
Okay, Michael Williams right there. After, especially after a lot of their D line is kind of their old guys. A lot of them left, so I think that's a good pick. Here we got the Bills. You know, this is one of the harder picks as well. I think there's a lot of different things they could address. You know, corner is a big need for them. They just brought back Trey White, which was a little interesting, but I don't really quite know where I'm going to go right here. But Cam Scatterbo, 51st ranked. Interesting. Uh, I'm just going to go with one of the best guys available and go with that's hard. I mean, their receiving core, they got Shakir. Who else?
Um,
Keon.
yeah. I thought somebody else. I forgot. Mac Hollins,
He signed with the Patriots. So I'm trying to. I feel like I mean they went receiver. Keon was he end of the first,
second.
early
He
second?
was. I thought he was either late first or early second. I
Yeah. So
forget.
they went receiver early on last year, but in this world, I'm just gonna. I don't think they're gonna go. I feel like they may not go corner after the whole Khair Elam debacle. They went with him in the first round. Did not work out at all. So I think they'll just go with the safe pick, and I'm gonna go with the Mika Egbuka. I think that will be a
Yeah,
very good weapon for Josh Allen.
I'm a Buka fan, so I definitely
I think that's a good pick for them.
that would be good for them. Chiefs, they also could do a lot of things. They always like to kind of recycle a lineman, D lineman, keep like their defense young. Um, but I think they're gonna go line.
They
I
could
feel
use
like
the
this is
corner as well.
yeah. I'm gonna go Gray Zabel here. Feels
Okay,
like feels like a Chiefs type of like finding a diamond.
got it. All right, we're
Good
going
O
with
lineman.
Zabel. Last pick of the first round, we have the Eagles. You know, I think they could use another corner as well. They have obviously Quinion and Cooper DeJean, but after that, pretty thin, especially with Slay's departure. I mean, obviously they could use another receiver, I would say. Um, I mean, aside from needing a third receiver, I think that whole AJ Brown debacle, you never really know where that's going to go. I think he's going to be there for a while, but you really don't know. So I think they could go a lot of different ways here, a lot of different routes, but I think the Eagles are gonna we're just gonna round out the first round and go with Luther Burden and
Okay.
kind of give them, I guess they're really the best player available right here and see how that goes.
That does feel Eaglesy. He always takes like the biggest name. Like they
Yeah,
always
for
take like, the
sure.
biggest consensus guy. So
So here is our entire mock. We can run through it real quick. We got Cam Ward, number one to the Titans. Travis Hunter, number two to the Cleveland Browns. Abdul Carter, third to the New York Giants. Will Campbell, fourth to the Patriots. Mason Graham, fifth to the Jaguars. Ashton Jeanty, sixth to the Raiders. Armand Membu, seventh to the Jets. Jalen Walker, eighth to the Carolina Panthers. Kenneth Grant, number nine to the Saints. We have Kelvin Banks Jr., 10th to the Bears. 11, Will Johnson to the Niners. Matthew Golden, number 12 to the Cowboys. Josh Simmons, number 13 to the Dolphins. Tyler Warren, number 14 to the Colts. Mike Green, number 15 for the Falcons. Jahdae Barron, number 16 to the Cardinals. 17, Malachi Starks to the Bengals. Tetaroa McMillan, number 18 to the Seahawks. Nick Scouton, 19 to the Buccaneers. Omarion Hampton, 20 to the Broncos. Shador Sanders, 21 to the Steelers. Colston Loveland, number 22 to the Chargers. James Pierce Jr., number 23 to the Packers. Walter Nolan, number 24 to the Vikings. Josh Connerly Jr., number 25 to the Texans. Jihad Campbell, number 26 to the Rams. Shamar Stewart, number 27 to the Ravens. Donovan Ezuraku, number 28 to the Lions. Michael Williams, number 29 to the Commanders. Emeka Egbuka, number 30 to the Bills. Gray Zabel, number 31 to the Chiefs. And Luther Burden, the third, 32 to the Eagles.
Looks like a very accurate,
Yeah, it looks
perfect
pretty good.
comp.
I think there could be the receivers could go a bit earlier after looking at this whole thing, but I think there's a lot of defense and O-line needed in this draft, and I think that'll
Hmm.
get addressed pretty
Yeah,
well.
top four lock, 100%, no
Yeah,
doubt.
sure.
That's incorrect. I feel like.
I think we could get the top 10 majority right. The Saints, I really don't know what they're gonna do. Uh,
Yeah.
but other than that, I like the rest of it. So we'll see. Let us know in the comments who you think is gonna go where, and I guess we can each give one hot take for the draft real quick. Do you have any in mind?
You can go first.
Okay. My hot take is that there will not be more than two trades in the first round.
Hmm. Okay.
I don't know how hot of a take that is, but I don't think I think a lot of the teams are going to stay put and just take their best guy they can get.
Hmm. A hot take here. Let's see. Um, I think Igbuka is wide receiver one in this draft.
Okay.
I'm an Igbuka guy. I think he's gonna be the best wide receiver. It's my hot take.
Okay, I have one more. I think I could see ah actually there's so many I don't know. I'm thinking I could see a team trade up into the first round and take Milrow.
Okay. Yeah,
I think
100%.
Dart is smoke. I don't think teams are going to buy into the offense he played in, and I could see him sliding.
There's a lot of smoke with the Giants, the Dart. I feel like with the smoke screen trying to get like the Browns, someone trade up, take Dart, then Milrow falls to us at 34.
Yeah, I could
I
see
could see
that.
that. Yeah,
I could
100%.
too. I think we'll see. I feel like the top 10 should be pretty solid, but after that, there could be some craziness. But I'll stick with my take. I don't think there'll be many trades. I think in the back, last 10 picks, obviously there's usually a lot of trades then, but for the top 20-ish so picks, I think a lot of those teams will stay put.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's the mock. We'll
Thank
see
you
how
guys for
accurate it
watching.
is. Thank you for watching, and we will see you, I guess, around this time next year.
All right. Okay. How long is that?